Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk about the EZK and the FSOA buff that we got not too long ago. I know I'm a little bit late to this, but I've been playing for the last 2 weeks, testing it out and seeing how they feel. And I want to talk about them now. So first of all, let's talk about Mage, my most experienced combat. The FSOA got a passive added to it that grants 15 to 30% critical strike damage. This is actually really good. After testing it and messing around with it quite a lot, taking advice from the higher leveled PVMers, camping the FSOA, especially in Sunshine now, is absolutely incredible. On top of that, if you have a sharded FSOA, you're gonna get that tiny bit of extra damage as well, which is nice. Now, of course, Mage is built upon critting. So the fact that now we have harder hitting crits is, well, amazing. It actually feels really good to be a Mage player again. Not too long ago when they was doing all the different changes to combats and lowering damage, making Mage go kind of to the bottom of the pile, Mage is absolutely back up at the top of the pile right now. I don't think it outclasses ranged, but it is definitely close now, I'd say personally. And the big thing as well is that Elite Tectonic has also had a passive effect added to it, which basically gives you what the Sliske Tuskus Wrath set effect would give you, which is 6% critical strike chance. The way that it works with Elite Tectonic is each individual piece gives you 2%, so you get the 6% by wearing all 3 pieces. This is honestly massive. Now, I don't think the actual damage output from the armor itself is actually going to be that noticeable or make much of a difference. But in terms of it being defensive, it probably helps a little. I haven't fully noticed it because I got used to Sliske, but I definitely think there's going to be a bit of help there with it, and it should be nicer at least. But overall, I do think it's good that now we're actually using the intended Mage power armor because it has the crits. In some places, the rotations you can get now with the amount of critting in Sun is actually kind of disgusting. With thanks to someone sharing their rotation, I've learned how to basically pull skip at Raksha, and it's very consistent. And honestly, Mage just feels fantastic now. Let's talk about the EZK. It's kind of the same with Mage. The goal is now that you can basically camp two-handed weapons. And the EZK's first change was absolutely awful, but it's been adjusted. It still needs fixing for the spec to carry over, but it basically gives you a flat 12% damage increase and a 12% damage reduction from the target you spec'd. Now, all that's really cool and all, in general, you're getting more increased damage, which is great. You're getting the damage reduction, which is also great, especially in Zerk with melee. But the big thing about the EZK is its spec potential. Unfortunately, this isn't going to work for your smaller fights. You're still probably going to want to camp lengths for say God Wars Dungeon 2 is the one example at the top of my head. You're not going to want to take EZK there. But for places like Solak and the Ambassador, Zami if you want, it has incredible potential because when you do it correctly, if you Zerk, Chaos Roar, and after the minute cooldown, EZK spec, you're gonna roughly hit 4 hits at max hit, which is 30k. And honestly, hitting 120k in one spec not only looks very appealing, it feels awesome. It makes melee a pretty damn good style to maybe camp a bit more now. I can't comment too much on it because I have been learning melee and it is hard. I'm struggling a lot to learn it, but in the places where I've been able to at least attempt and do something, it's actually fun. Raksha is again my example boss, but I can now pull skip semi-consistently-ish with this EZK spec. Now, for the master melee nerds, this is probably such a stupid thing, and I shouldn't be using the EZK here because the spec doesn't fully carry over to P4, and I can probably kill Raksha quicker than the 1 minute cooldown forces. But it's still fun to do, and I think that's one of the biggest things about bossing in the game in general, is that you're having fun and it's fun by itself. So I want to talk about a couple of the things that I've been able to do with these changes very quickly and briefly. You would have been watching some of the kills in the background whilst I'm talking over them, but you will notice that there's some Solak stuff in here, obviously Raksha, and there's also some Ambassador stuff here. The big thing about Ambassador is I went with someone as a duo who is very clearly an incredible melee player. But we actually got the spinner skip. Now, I'm sure you know, like, I'm not an amazing PVMer. I'm probably like slightly above average maybe, but the fact that I was able to get the skip with someone else using this is actually really, really cool. Honestly, it felt really fun and just rewarding in a way to be able to do it. Now, I definitely got carried, but this is the kind of stuff that can be allowed now, right? Like, when they're giving us a spec this powerful, it's just incredible. The other thing that I want to quickly mention is obviously I have finally learned how to solo Ambi, but I learned how to solo hybrid Ambi very early, and I got lucky on my first attempt to where I got a sub 3-minute kill with Mage melee hybrid. Obviously the EZK spec carried hard for quite a bit of it, but honestly it's really, really good, and I actually can't even express how fun it is to use. That's one of the big things as well. When there's a change like this, it adds like that extra bit of fun. Honestly, these changes brought me back to the game, so I'm very, very glad that even though it took them way, way too long, especially for Mage, I'm glad that the changes are finally here. I want to say as well right now, I'm streaming daily on Twitch a lot. Please come and hang out. I'd appreciate it. If you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe, and please let me know your thoughts on both of the changes in the comments. I'd love to know what everybody else thinks.